Hi guys, so just a quick brief editorial comment before we do start this. I don't know if you can notice, but my voice is still destroyed. And because I want to bring daily content, I'm just going to have to work through it. So if you guys can bear my cold and my slightly lower voice than normal, we can get cracking. So yeah, anyway, let's start, shall we? The days are really starting to heat up. Oh, it would help if we clicked on the window. There we are. This morning, I woke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving the dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun has taken full effect, oddly, that puts me into high spirits. It's not even 8, yet I feel that this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. It's a very quick thing to presume. If I weren't at a school that considered every absence from class as a sign of life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping a whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. For a second, I stop in mid-stretch and consider the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those morning jogs. See, for those people saying, why do you always just go ahead and go for it, even though you've got a heart condition, that's why, because you're scared of that happening. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace, who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. It's not like I sit around all day. The walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. I'm not sure it does, but sure. Yeah, it's no big deal. Compared to months lying in a hospital bed, I'm getting plenty exercise. It seems that I'm not the only one on my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigour for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. God. However, she shows no sign of halting her efforts, nor is she trying to hide the fact. The lunch bells seem to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Is how? Hey there, Hanako, what can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone? Awesome, you don't have to be so stiff about it though. That's a wonderful thing to say to someone who's shy. Ah, right. I take it we're going to the tea room? But please. Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should go ahead together. Sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. Oliver was wondering if I was going to say no or something. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the schools seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her foot on the table, intently focusing on every little movement, as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanour that she has prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help you with that. I take the container from Hanako's hand and try to force open the lid. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Let me guess, did you put this in while the rice is still hot? Yes, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. It looks like it's wedged shut. We'll need some hot water to get it open. But that could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. I was going to say, I mean, unless you've got a portable shower, that's not going anywhere, is it? Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked of various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had changed your plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest to not look like she is looking at me. She's doing a very good job, because she's not. She's looking at my foot. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking stuff for myself. Not bad, I Guess this is made with the stuff you bought yesterday? Yes. Hanako's eyes shouted me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it was clearly worth it. Thanks, Hanako. I wanted to show you this after yesterday. It's okay, I was just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying. Hanako's always liked to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good, most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. And it's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right? Right. Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think she were a child playing with her food if not for the situation, though she does it with such care and thoughtlessness that it's obvious this is simply how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Damn. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. Filling. Is that the best you can do, Hisao, with a compliment? Not it tasted nice or anything like that. Meh. It filled me up. Oh dear. No, thank you for the bread. Yes, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome. But now I must be getting back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yes, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here and then head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves, her cane tapping her way down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack up our things and stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together we stare out the window into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn that time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no sign of moving either. Not just yet. We're going to be here all afternoon, aren't we? The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passes in a blink of an eye. We should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. Slowly, she rises to her feet and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the 3rd floor and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. I'm greeted not by stern words, nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Mewtwo, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. Make that about 14 students trying and 1 student failing. The lovers return. Oh god, I can't do that kind of exaggerated voice. My voice would just crumble. Yeah, thanks, you can calm down now. Oh dear. I step through the door and realise that Hanako is pressed firmly against my back, hiding herself from the class. Within my steps, coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block out everyone else's presence from her mind are written fairly clearly across her face. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha, she's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Mewtwo picks the exact moment to enter this class, halfway through his lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which of course is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportional to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Mewtwo's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me. The teacher may have not noticed your tardiness, but I did. That much is obvious from the show that you just put on. I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition. Let me guess, I tell you what happened? Oh, and what would that be? You have to help us this afternoon. I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember? Of course, doing so would be considered... She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking at her place in the script. Under duress, and hence would be against regulations. How strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now. Things should be done by the book. It's just that the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when it can't be ignored. And yet, you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. Ouch. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook and we battle our way through the latter half of the school day. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have up their hands placed on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out, damn. This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance. Hisao? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realise that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh hey Hanako, what's up? Oh. Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat? Oh, relax, this won't take long. Sorry Hanako, you were saying? I was going to the library and I thought... Hanako's thumbs dance around each other and her eyes flit around the room, looking everywhere but at us. Sorry Hanako, but Hisao has to come with us. He's got work to do. Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So how about it, Hisao? I've done enough work for the council already. What do you think, Hanako? I can only think it's bad if I drag Hanako along to some... with two people that she doesn't particularly like. So I'm very, very tempted to go for I've done enough work for the council already. And then I should be fine. No, my use of the word should. Alright, sorry. I've done enough work for the council already. Hey, Shizune, I know I said I'd help, but I forgot I'd already made plans. Besides, I'd helped out more than my fair share last week, didn't I? I promise I'll make it up to you some other time. Oh, two angry people. Shizune and Misha release their grip on me and have a long, deep, silent conversation. Well, you have a point there. To be honest, we were only going to spend the rest of the budget on cakes. Oh, so missed out on cakes. The cake was a lie, ladies and gentlemen. The cake was a lie. So, if you're not there, it works out better. More cake for us. God, she looks like a vampire when she laughs. Shizune about faces and marches out of the door, and Misha skips out after her. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Last week, those two were like bloodhounds or prison guards. Or maybe prison guards bred from bloodhounds. I can't believe I just thought that, let alone say it out loud. I think I need to move away from Kenji. Move away? I think you need to kill him. Never mind. Anyway, should we go to the library? Sure. Hanako follows me through the still crowded halls to the library, using me as a shield. As soon as we are through the door, Hanako bolts for the counter, where Yuko is stacking books. Before I can catch up, Hanako has whispered something to her. You'd find that in non-fiction, but I don't know where exactly. If you want, I can look it up. Never mind. Hey, Yuko, what's all this about? Oh, Hisao, Hanako was just looking for a book on... nothing. A book on nothing? In the non-fiction section? Oh dear. I was just... I shoot a glance at Yuko. She looks like she's just about to burst from the pressure of keeping Hanako's request secret. Yuko, what did... Chess. She's looking for a chess book. Oh dear. I make a mental note never to entrust Yuko with any important information. Yuko! I'm sorry, Hanako, it just slipped out. Well, it's not a secret anymore. Come on, I'll give you a hand. I should really brush up on my skills too. Okay. Yuko disappears behind the counter in shame as Hanako and I wander to the depths of the non-fiction section. I know there is supposed to be a system for categorizing these books, but I don't see how anyone could decipher it without spending half of their life researching it. That's probably why all the librarians I know are neurotic. Ouch. Towards the end of the aisle, between a book on card tricks and some book on kids games, stands a single book bearing the title, Chess Tactics for Champions. Before I can reach out for it, Hanako has the book in her hands, clutching it to her chest. Well, I guess that's yours then, maybe. Mind if I borrow it when you're finished? Sure, I just haven't really played against anyone but Lilly before, so I thought... Damn, it's not like I was trying to beat Hanako deliberately or anything, but she seems to have taken it to heart. Then again, at least this means she wants to play me again. That's a plus, right? Ha! Well, it's not like I'm a master or anything. I just played a bit before. It occurs to me that I haven't told Hanako about my condition. I falter for a second, deciding to cover my tracks. This is a conversation for another day. Before I came here. Are you alright? Yeah, I was just remembering something. When I think about it, I shouldn't be afraid to tell Hanako about my condition and my time in the hospital. Judging by her scars, she probably spent a fair amount of time in a hospital bed. But for some reason, I can't bring it up. At least not today. And not on short notice. Eager to break off this conversation, I grab a random book from the shelf. It's some book on the world's fastest roller coasters, published in 1982. Well, not very up to date, but at least it should be interesting. Well, we both got books now. Should we go sit down? Hanako seems to accept my bluff, and we head to the reading nook in the back of the library. Neither of us say a word. We simply open our books and start reading. I try to read my book, but it would seem that 1982 roller coasters weren't nearly as large as the ones built in the decades since. Most of the ones listed are made of wood, something that doesn't seem overly safe to me. Yeah, that'll have a tendency of catching fire. If I'm going to ride on something potentially dangerous, I want it to be made out of steel or some kind of space-age alloy that has big words like titanium or ruthenium. I quickly lose interest and my eyes wander across the reading area to rest on Hanako. Hanako seems absorbed in her book. Does she though? Really? Flicking back and forth through the pages, as if confirming what she just read. I wonder if that's actually effective, or if she's just overloading herself. She unconsciously brushes the hair from her face, temporarily revealing scar tissue. I'm still not sure about the protocol here. Is it right to ask about her scars, or her past? How long was she in hospital? Does she still visit the doctor? These all seem like the questions that you'd ask someone who just transferred to your school, translated into the local language. But to date, no one has directly asked me any of them. Well, except written, but I don't think I should use her as a guide to proper social behaviour. For the time being, I'll just keep my mouth shut. If someone wants you to know something, then they'll know. Then they'll tell you. Trying to force the issue might drive Hanako back into herself. Yeah, think of all the people to ask about that. Hanako would be a terrible idea. Sorry to interrupt, but I have to close the library now. Already? I checked my watch. Somehow, I was lost in thought. Nearly 2 hours have passed. Do you want to check those books out? I can do it on the way out. Please. I'm done. I'll drop this one back on the way, though. It wasn't as interesting as I first thought. Hanako marks her place with a slip of paper and stands up. The girls head to the counter and I return my book to what I think is the right shelf. Yuko scans Hanako's book with practiced precision, yet still manages to fumble it. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Third time lucky. Since this is a non-fiction book, you can only have it for a week. That's okay. Yuko shuts down the library's computer and herds us out of the door. I don't think it was this late already. But you're the one who told us you had to close. Yes, but I know that. That was before I looked at the time. What? Right, sure. I'll see you later. Yuko bolts down the hall, her handbag trailing behind her like an orchid streamer. I guess all librarians really are necrotic. Huh? Never mind. I was just thinking that I've never met a librarian that can organise their time, no matter how good they are with their books. Oh, I don't know what you mean. Hanako smiles in amusement. It wasn't meant to be a joke, but I must have reminded her of some other librarian, or something. I have to get back. Yeah, me too. I didn't realise it was this late. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. No problem. I'm going to the dormitory room now anyway, so do you mind if I tag along? Okay. Hanako sets off ahead of me, and I need to jog a little to reach her side. We walk through the gardens, eventually arriving in front of the dorm buildings. Man, you walk pretty fast. I used to play in a soccer club, but you managed to outpace me. I kind of regret saying that. It has less to do with her pace and with the fact that my condition has significantly worsened my fitness. Hanako's reaction is odd. I expected an awkward attempt to downplay her walking speed, but she just blushes while looking at her feet and smiling. Silence hangs in the air between us. That happens often around Hanako, but feels slightly different than usual this time. After a few seconds, I try to break the silence. Here you go. See you in class tomorrow? Sure. Hanako waves a short goodbye before pushing her way through the dorm's doors. I stand and look at them for a while before making my way to my own dormitory room.